Hey y'all, happy Monday. How are y'all today? I'm trying to get my camera, get my angles. There we go. How are y'all today? I had a busy Monday. Oh my gosh, I had a few folks for work, and then I had to get an oil change and do some other self-care things. But I'm here, y'all. And I just remember Dairy Queen has 85 cents blizzards. I didn't make that pit stop today, but baby, that pit stop is coming up, okay? But how are y'all? Happy Monday. I hope you had a good Monday. Did you catch the latest premiere of Money Mondays? Today I wanted to focus on, I got my notes here, but today I wanted to focus on how, I'm always talking about how you can become debt free. But I really wanted to focus on like how you can stay debt free. I think that's so important because it's easy. Well, it's not easy to get debt free. I ain't gonna even tell you that. It's not easy to become debt free. But just as quick as you got, or however quick it took you to get out of debt, it can be tempting at times to go back into debt. And it's important to not just become debt free, but to maintain that debt free status. And as I'm talking about this now, of course, unfortunately, I will, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and baby, he could do it for me. He can help me to buy a house cash. I definitely believe that. But of course, if there was any debt that I was going to go into, it would be a mortgage. That's something that I don't have a problem with. A mortgage that I can afford. Because I do plan on buying a home one day. Right now, I'm perfect. I don't know how to fix nothing. So I'm perfectly fine with calling, my apartment office and letting them know I need y'all to get up here and fix XYZ. So I'm perfectly fine with the apartment life for now. Okay. But I wanted to talk about, I just gave 4 strategies on how I stay debt free, or how I've stayed debt free. Of course, y'all know it's been a year. This past July was a year officially, and it felt good, when you think back like to where you started. Ooh, and then listen, you think about now. Yes, Lord, you brought me over, okay? But and thinking about where I started all those months ago, those years ago now. So actually this month, in 2020, it was still during the height of the pandemic. So 3 years ago this month, your girl decided to make a change. I'm pretty sure I have the date written down somewhere. But y'all, 3 years ago, I decided to stop being a hot mess with my finances and get my life together. And I did. And it's like, in the beginning, listen, it's so many trenches, it's so many highs. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, there are highs, as you pay off stuff. So there are highs, there are lows, there are frustrations and things of that nature. But 3 years later, I'm here. And I definitely just want to give that encouragement to somebody who's deciding to start today. Listen, you're going to look back. And I'll say definitely in my adult life, that is one of the best decisions I ever made. Like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. So, I don't want to go back there, because just thinking about the beginning and just thinking about being in the thick of that thing, like all 2021 was in the thick of that thing, and I'm glad that thing is gone. So, my first step in how I, remain debt free is I don't use credit cards. Even as somebody who recently, I had to book a hotel, and this is the first time I ain't booked a hotel in a little minute, but I went to a conference this past summer and I had to book a hotel, and I was a little worried at first because I don't have a credit card. And I remember that when I booked it online, it'll kind of just authorize your card or whatever. It said, once you get to the hotel, you need to have a credit card, basically. And I was like, girl, and I thought to call and ask about it. I was like, no, I'm just gonna show up. Ain't nobody turn down no money, honey, okay? And I remember there was like a little play, and it just said, if you choose to use a debit card, then there'll be, of course, a hold, placed on your card. And there was a hold placed on my card, and a few days later it was gone. I had the money in there, so I ain't really care. But I don't use credit cards. I actually rented a car to go to that conference, and I use Turo. Turo takes debit cards. I know some of the rental car places are funny about, they need a credit card and all this other stuff. This my thing though. even if you have a credit card, if all you have on it is what the card, the charge that they're going to charge you, that still doesn't insure, it doesn't insure you, So, for all the folks that's like, you need a credit card and all this stuff, so no, you don't, girl. I booked a hotel with my debit card, and instead of going to the rental car agencies, because I didn't feel like putting up with that mess, I booked the car on Turo, and it was all fine. Ain't nothing happened to my card. And my card is really good, like, about fraud and things. Like, I'll be trying to do stuff and it'll decline my card because it's not like a regular purchase. So please don't get caught up in that you need a credit card and how you gonna do this and how you gonna do that with cash or with your debit card. It's the same thing. And there wasn't even like a hassle. Like, even at the hotel, yeah, they put a hold on my card, but okay. I mean, I had other money, so I was fine with that. But yeah, I don't use credit cards. That includes, your standard Visa, MasterCard, as well as Afterpay. I know that's a big one. I see them posts just thinking, you think Afterpay was Jesus coming to save your sins, the way y'all be thinking, those companies, and they taking you into debt. Like, so yeah, I don't use any of that. As somebody who has used it, now it's been 3 years since I financed anything. The last thing I financed was summer 2020, and it was a bed. So that was the last thing that I financed. As someone who hasn't done it, I'm just like, me personally, y'all, Jesus himself has just convicted me. Like, sometimes we'll get convictions about certain stuff as believers, and that's one of my convictions, is debt. Like, I know that I just can't do it. I'm just gonna have to be without it, or we're just gonna have to hold up a sign on the side of the road, start a GoFundMe or something. But because the debt, like, I just have been very turned off from it. Because it just, it was a hassle. It's so easy. It is so easy in our country to go into debt. You can literally go into massive amounts of debt in a day, and I'm not talking about a mortgage. I'm talking about in things that you don't even need, and that has just really, my eyes have been opened, to those things, and I can't do it. So I don't do the credit card game. Haven't used a credit card since 2020, and yeah, that's where I am with that. Sinking funds is my second thing. So it's coming off not using credit cards. If I want something, I do it the old-fashioned way. I save for it, which is something that, back in the day, girl, I was like, sign me up, sweetie. We'll make them payments. But now it's just like, and I actually was making a list of some things that I want to buy. And thinking, like, how do I want to do sinking funds for it? Or do I kind of want to do it like a debt snowball and just go from least to greatest? What do I want to do? I was thinking about that. But yeah, I use sinking funds to get what I want. I use a sinking fund to get my new iPhone. I use a sinking fund to get my washer and dryer. That's my main method. And it's not like that I'll take the cash out and I'll put it in like an envelope. I'll just kind of have it, in my bank account. And I know that this set of money is what I'm kind of using this for. But yeah, that's one of the things that I like to utilize, are your traditional sinking funds, your rainy day funds, whatever you want to call it. As you as the amount that you need, is collected. Once you get that full amount, then you use it for what it is that you want. You don't put any more money into it. And once you get a new sinking fund, then bam. So sinking funds are the thing for me. I think that's something that I will just always do. And I like it. Of course, you have to wait, like, to save these things. And that's another thing about sinking funds, y'all. It lets you know how bad you want something, right? Because it lets you can like really feel and just better ascertain what it costs for something. Because when you just signing up for something and breaking it into all these payments, it's not really like real, But when you go that old-fashioned route, when you working all them hours, when you side hustling all these things, you can kind of feel what it costs to be able to get the things that you want. And it lets you know if it's worth it or if it's not worth it, So that's my second thing. Third thing, and I was just kind of talking about this a little, side hustles. Listen, during your debt-free journey, you want to utilize your side hustles, right? You cannot get out of debt on a 9 to 5. you have to side hustle, right? You have to get some type of other income. But you know, during your debt-free journey, I know for me, I went in, like, I literally worked from Sunday to Sunday, y'all. I played no games. Like, I went in, you know, but as I came up off of, you know, getting out of debt and things like that, I was able to just kind of step back a bit from my side hustles. But always keep you at least one. Like, everybody needs a side hustle. Ain't nothing wrong with a side hustle. Ain't nothing wrong with working a second job. Ain't nothing wrong with it, because you know, tomorrow is not promised. Anybody could lose their job or decide to quit, you know. And you want to have something to fall back on. You know, it's multiple eggs in multiple baskets. So you may not go as hard as you were doing your debt-free journey with your side hustle. But, you know, once you step out of that, you know, maybe you decide, well, I kind of want to stack my 9-to-5 money towards XYZ, and I'll just use my side hustle money, you know, to get me this or that. You know, it's really important that you keep your side hustle. Like I said, you're probably not going to be doing the 3 or 4 that you were doing to get out of debt, but keep, you know, at least one in the cut, you know, so you can get right back in that thing in case, you know, something doesn't go the way that you plan. And it's just a good way to stay out of debt. It's a good, you know, way to know that you have multiple checks, you know, coming in. It feels good, you know. So keep your side hustles, okay? Now listen, my last thing is the most important thing, okay? And I'm looking at my notes, y'all. But that is remembering what it cost me. Like, it cost me so much to go. It didn't just cost me $43,000 in debt. It cost me sleep. It cost me dignity at sometimes. You know, I kind of felt, you know, I was ashamed of that debt. You know, nobody knew about it. I did, but, you know, that's all who needed to know. You know, it cost you something other than money, time that you can't get back. You know, so remember what it cost you. Like, was it worth it for me to have ran up a $43,000 tab? No, ma'am. It was not worth it. Like, it was not. I would not do it again. 0 out of 10 would not recommend, okay? So, you know, remember what it cost you. And in the video, I talk about, you know, one way that I remember that is that I keep my debt-free snowball paper, because I wrote it down on the paper. Some people like to do, you know, the fancy graphics and stuff. Girl, I'm old school. I can just write it down and check that stuff off, right? But I keep that paper in my wallet, and I can see it when I open my wallet. I took out $10 today because I got my brows threaded, and I saw the paper in there, and it's just a reminder of, you know, back in the day, like, I might have swiped a credit card for a $10 purchase, you know, versus having $10 in cash that I have budgeted for, you know, to give to a service, you know, that I regularly get done anyway. So I always keep that in my wallet, because I remember, and it's kind of wrinkly a bit. I'll probably laminate it eventually, because yeah, your girl looked at that paper many times, seeing what I could do, how I could go harder, how many more orders on DoorDash I could deliver on, you know, what other side hustle could I get? How could I increase my tutoring hours? You know, I looked at that paper a lot, and it means a lot to me, because it's where I was. And it's where I don't want to go back, girl. So, you know, always remember what it cost you, and try to keep some type of memorabilia, you know, like that, just in your wallet. Because sometimes, you know, we need to see them things. We need to remember those things. You know, it did not feel good being in all that debt. But, baby, July 2022, well, I paid that last team off. I was like, oh, yes, ma'am. Like, listen, I'm out of Egypt, baby. I ain't going back. Pharaoh, you can figure it out back there. I ain't going back. So, you know, remember what it cost you. And that's just a good word of advice with anything. You know, when you're trying to go back and relive stuff and, you know, be with things that no longer serve us. Like, no, ma'am, I'm going to remember what it cost me. And that's what's going to help me, you know, to stick on this debt-free journey. So if y'all have not watched the video, y'all be sure to go back and watch it. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And listen, don't forget my freebies that I have. I have one in that comment section, and I'll drop it on this video pretty soon here. But grab my college funds freebie guide. It's back to school. You know, student loan debt. I had it too, girl. It's a big you know, thing. Many people are still going into student loan debt. So check out that free that college funds freebie guide so you can see how to get the free money. Also, don't forget my $5 e-guide, girl. It's still linked in all of my description boxes. Don't forget that. Support your girl there. Listen, we are coming up on 1,900 subscribers, road to 2K. Thanks so much to y'all. Thank you for your support, for helping my YouTube dreams to come true. How you can help me is by liking and sharing my content, watching it, you know, through and through. Look at my playlist, y'all. I have several playlists for you to kind of, you know, pick and choose what you would like. I definitely did that for y'all. And listen, y'all, I am about to get ready for my shows. Okay, I had to hop on here and talk to the peoples first. But I'm about to get ready for my shows. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Bye.